Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming my second video of the day because I am super adult and productive and I'm really just on the ball today. But anyways, today I'm filming my my first story time video of how I got catfished. Yes, you heard that right. I got catfished and it is quite the story. So if you are interested in hearing what happened and how that went down and how I figured it out, then definitely make sure you keep watching. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. I make 2 videos a week on Tenessa Tuesdays and Thursdays, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure you give this video a like if you want more storytime videos from me, because trust me, I have a collection. So let's go right on ahead and get into the video. So to start out the story, how I got in contact with this person's name is actually, well, I don't know if this is his actual name, but from what I was told, his name is Landon. So I received a question a few years ago on Ask FM. If you don't know what Ask FM is, I do have it, and I will leave that link below, of course. But Ask FM is basically a website where you can ask questions to anyone who has, the app or the website, and you can ask them, anonymously or not. So I received a question from this person anonymously, and I can't remember what the actual question was. I mean, I could go in and look and find out, but I don't want to make this video, 3 hours long. So anyways, I received a question, and it was something along the lines of, you're really beautiful and you deserve more than you have, that kind of thing. And at the time, I was in a relationship. Anyways, and it was really sweet, and I didn't know who the person was because I posted it anonymously, so I just, oh, thank you very much, that's really sweet of you, but, I'm happy that I wasn't happy, but, I said I was happy. Anyways, and I kept getting more and more questions, and it was something like, I really like you, I think you're really beautiful, too bad you'll never get to know me, blah, blah, blah. And however, I can't remember exactly how it ended up happening, but I gave him my email and said, look, if you want to tell me who you are, then this is my email if you want to contact me this way. And so I started getting emails from this guy, and he told me, my name's Landon, and I'm like, okay, well, how do you know me? Like, I don't know a Landon, and I don't to this day know a Landon. And he said, oh, like, I can't remember exactly what his reasoning was, but it was something like he was on his cousin's Facebook, who I had on Facebook. She was a female, and he had seen me on her Facebook profile feed, or her Facebook news feed, and I guess I stood out to him. So that was how he found me, I guess. And I still to this day don't know who his cousin was, like which cousin he was on their profile. I don't think that sentence made sense. But anyway, I don't know who the girl was whose Facebook he was using. So anyways, we kind of got talking, and I will admit I kind of did like the idea behind this, just someone who really kind of liked and adored me and thought I was so beautiful. But I don't know, I guess I just kind of gave into the idea of this. And so anyways, we talked for a long time, and it was very different, because I could never know too much information about him. But he never would give me too much information. I could never have his phone number, or know what school he went to, or see him on Facebook, or see what he looked like for a very long time. Like for at least a year, he only asked about me, and I wasn't really allowed to ask about him. And I should have been smart and just stopped giving in and stopped talking to him, but for whatever reason, a part of me was just really intrigued by this situation. So, he knew a lot about me. I told him a lot of things. I think in a year, the most information that I got from him was that his name was Landon, and I feel like at one point I said, you know what, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I know nothing about you other than your name and how you found me, and I'm telling you all these personal things, and I know nothing about you. And so when I kind of threatened to leave was kind of when the tables turned a little bit, and he was like, okay, well, here's a little bit about me. So he told me a few personal details that I'm not going to mention just because I guess it's a little bit insensitive to people who had those things happen to them. So I knew a few personal details, but I still only knew his name. Eventually he told me that he lived in Georgia, which again, I'm not sure how that worked looking back, because his cousin who had me on Facebook, I don't know anyone who has family in Georgia, so I don't know how that made sense. But at the time I was like, oh yeah, okay, sure. And time went on. We had been talking for, a year and a half, and I still knew nothing. Eventually I was just like, I can't do this. Like, it's not fair to me. I don't know who you are, and you're putting all these hopes and dreams in my head, and I have no idea who you are, and it's not okay. So, I stopped talking to him, and we stopped talking for a little while, and then he messaged me, like, I think it was like 6 months later, because, he would email me here and there, but I would just ignore it because I didn't want to get caught up into the drama of that situation again. So anyways, he emailed me like 6 months later, and he said to me, I have cancer. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, if anyone knows me, I am very much like an emotional person, and I always want to save the world and help everyone, and that's just my personality. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, this poor person. And so, of course I fell back into it, and I was like, okay, so he had lymphoma is what he told me. And I might have mentioned I was 17 at the time, he was 16. And so I was really like, younger people get diagnosed with cancer every day. That wasn't hugely surprising to me. I guess more so just the fact that he had cancer just suddenly kind of, was a little bit confusing in my head. But anyways, so, I wanted to know, because if something were to happen to him, I had no way of knowing what had happened or who he really was, and that really bothered me. So I like really pried him on knowing details and who he was, and that kind of thing. And he really pushed. Like, the more I pushed him, the more he pushed back. And it was really weird. Like, we were so stubborn toward each other, but in the same sense we couldn't stop talking to each other for whatever reason. Like, kids are crazy, young and in love, whatever. And so he would tell me all these really sweet things, and I feel like we were finally going somewhere, maybe I would get to meet him or get a video chat or something like that. And then all of a sudden I would ask, like, do you have a number, or can I mail you something, can we video chat? And all of a sudden he wouldn't contact me for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And so then he would message me after, a couple weeks had gone by and say, oh, I was in the hospital and I didn't have internet and blah, 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 whatever bullshit kind of story he gave me. And, this went on for probably another 6 months. And it really frustrated me. And then at one point he stopped messaging me for probably 3 months. And I got really concerned that, he had died or something had happened to him. And so I was sending him like 2 emails a day, like, please contact me. Whoever gets this, someone please message me. Here's my number. Like, here's where to find me. Here's my social media. Like, someone please message me. And all of a sudden his sister, Mackenzie, emailed me and was like, oh, like, I'm so sorry, Landon has gotten so sick. He doesn't think that, the doctors don't think that he's going to have very much time, Basically told me he was going to die. And I thought to myself, like, oh my gosh, at this point it's been like 2 years and some of talking to this person. I felt like I'd grown really close to them, and, they had really known so much about me, and I just felt like really attached to this person. And so I was like, oh my gosh, can you please tell me, like, how do I find him? Can I mail something? Can I come down? Like, I will fly down, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I really felt like I need to be there, and I needed to show my appreciation to this person. Anyway, so all of a sudden, like, she was very angry. Like, no, like, you cannot. He doesn't want that. And, like, just very, very angry. And there was a lot of hatred in the emails that she was sending me, that, I led him on because, I was talking to him, but I was in a relationship for, 3 years, 2.5 years, whatever at this point. I don't know the exact times. I could go through and look, but whatever. You led him on, and you gave him false hopes and false dreams and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whoa. I made it very clear several times to him that I was in a relationship, and, well, I said I wasn't happy, but, I was happy, and I wasn't looking to leave him. and she just made me feel really guilty about it. So I don't know what happened. We stopped talking for a period of time. I never heard from her or from him again. Quite a few months went by, and he messaged me, or he emailed me, and he said, you know, hi, like, how are you doing? I'm like, whoa, 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 wait. Like, I thought you died, and, you know, I never heard from you. I never got any explanation or reasoning or, you know, a goodbye even from you. And all of a sudden, he just messaged me, like, nothing happened, like, oh, hey, like, how are you doing? How's your day? But of course, my dumb self, you know, my dumb, I don't even know how old I was, like 15, 16-year-olds, no, like 17-year-old self. Well, no, actually, this is wrong. Like, when we started talking, I was 16, he was 15. It's probably more accurate. Anyways, whatever. I was dumb and naive and immature, whatever. So I gave in, of course, and I was like, you know, what happened to you? Like, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, you know, like, no, I'm still sick, blah, blah, blah. And so I said to him, like, I need something. Like, if I'm going to be here, I need, like, an address or a picture, some sort of evidence that you're a real person and not just some person emailing me. And, you know, he made this big deal that he couldn't send me a picture and he couldn't video chat because he had cancer and he had no hair and he was just really ugly is what he thought, whatever. And, you know, it really hurt my feelings because I felt like I had devoted so much of my time to this person, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning checking my email, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning checking my email all through school and all through work, you know, waiting to get an email from this person, like, you know, like I would have bowed down and given whatever because I was just so involved in this. And oh my gosh, this is such a crazy story. Anyways, so he was like, no, I can't give you a picture. So I was just really frustrated and I didn't want to talk to him again, so I started ignoring him. And then all of a sudden I got an email from him probably like 3 weeks later. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in remission. What? Like, you only got cancer like 6 months ago. Like, he was in remission, you know, and it confused the shit out of me because 6 months ago, however long it had been when he first told me he got cancer, it was like his sister messaged me. He was dying. Like, there was no hope. This was a terminal cancer. Like, he was dying. There was no hope left. Okay, so all of a sudden he's in remission. And I was like, oh my gosh, great. Like, I'm so happy for you. And, you know, I tried again, like, you know, can I fly down? Can I come see you? And he was like, no, 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 we'll meet someday and we'll be in an airport and it'll be like romantic and beautiful and blah, blah, blah. Like, seriously, my mental state at that age, I questioned. Well, I definitely questioned it, but I mean, like, when I say this story, I definitely question it, you know, even more. Anyways, and it was a big deal that I asked for this because he, like, you know, like I said, he pushed back. So I finally just said to him, you know, we can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to be involved. You know, we've been talking for 2 years, 2.5 years, and I know nothing other than your name is Len and you live in Georgia and you apparently have cancer. Like, that does not work for me. So I was like, you know what, it's just not working. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you anymore. For probably almost a year, well, maybe a little over a year, I didn't reply to any of his emails. And I mean, for the first probably 6 months, he emailed me, you know, every 2 days. Like, please forgive me, please talk to me, like, you know, all these things. And I just didn't reply because I didn't want to be involved in it anymore. I didn't want to know anymore. I just couldn't deal with it. And about July of last year, I got an email from him. And it was the first time I've heard from him in a long time. So it really kind of took me by surprise. And I was in a new relationship at this point, and, you know, I was just kind of mind blown that I totally forgot. Like, you know, I thought he just kind of had been wiped off the face of the earth and I never heard from him again. And so he said, you know, like, it's been a long time, I still love you. You know how like catfishing works, right? And I should mention too that I tried everything. Like, if you have not watched the MTV show Catfish, you need to watch, because like, that is one of my favorite shows. So I felt like I was like a pro. Like, I was searching his IP address and his emails, and I was like doing everything I knew how to do, but still there was nothing. Like, I found nothing. yeah, so that's like, you know, a little background information that I should have said a while ago. But anyways, he was like, you know, I miss you and I miss talking to you. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I'm just so confused by the whole thing. And I said, you know, like, this has been going on for 3.5 years. Like, I know nothing about you. You know, I would try to fly down and see him and he would be so angry at me and like make me feel guilty for even asking. I just said to him, like, no, like, I can't do this again. Like, you know, I'm in a relationship now, like a real relationship, and I'm happy, and this isn't where I want to be. Like, I had tried for so long and I thought we, you know, we could be together and, you know, we would meet and fall in love and it would be like all hopeless and romantic and, you know, whatever. And I was like, no. Okay, so I was just like really intensely into filming and telling my story that I totally didn't even notice my camera died on the last part of my story. So if the camera is at a different angle or not zoomed in the same, then I'm sorry, but I need to finish this because I couldn't leave you guys hanging. So anyways, like I said, all this time goes by and then I get a message out of nowhere from him. And I'm like, no. Like, you know, it's been all this time since I talked to you. I am not getting involved in this again. There's no way. And so, you know, I just said to him, like, look, I have spent so much of my time on you and being invested into this and gotten nothing. So, no, like, do not contact me, do not message me, do not email me, do not ask me questions on Ask FM, do not try to find me on your cousin's Facebook, like, no. And, you know, 2 days go by, 2 or 3 days go by, and I get another email. And it's from him, but it's not him, it's his sister, Mackenzie. And she says to me, Landon has died. Excuse me? Yeah. And she says, Landon's died. And I said to her, like, oh my gosh. Like, my initial reaction was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just talked to him 2 days ago. She said to me back that his cancer was terminal again. Somehow he got terminal cancer again. And he had died. And so, you know, initially I was really heartbroken and I was really upset and I felt really guilty because, you know, I was kind of a bitch last time that emailed me, you know. Whatever. And looking back, that, you know, it's probably why she told me that he died, because I'd been a bitch. Not that it was her, it was probably him, you know. Like, Mackenzie and him are probably the same person, but, you know, whatever. Anyways, so I was like, I'm so sorry, like, can I please, you know, come down for the funeral? Like, I would really like to be there. I really feel that I should be there, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, well, we don't know when we're burying him. We don't know where. Okay. You don't know where you're planning to bury your brother? Or when? Like, I get that he died, like, you know, yesterday, but still, like, whatever. So, you know, I said to her, okay, you know, can I send flowers? And she's like, no, I really don't think that it's your place to, blah, 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 blah. And so at this point, I got kind of frustrated because I felt like I'd gotten to the point where I was just fed up. I was fed up of everyone lying to me and who really was this person and who was really this Mackenzie person, and, you know, why me? Why did you have to make me to lie to for all these years? And cancer, like, my grandma died of cancer. Like, that's a serious thing to lie about. Anyway, so she got really defensive that I questioned her. And she was like, you know what, you can call, like, it's in the obituaries, call the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think obituaries is the word, like, where they write in the newspaper who died. Anyway, so I was like, you know what, fine, I will. So I checked, like, the private investigator in me, the detective in me, I Googled that shit. Like, I searched his name and I checked the Georgia obituaries and I called, the crazy bitch that I am, I called the hospital that she said he died at. And I was like, look, like, there was a patient here that died yesterday, like, his name was Landon, he had cancer, and they're like, nope, sorry, we have no record of that person being admitted or dying here. Well, sorry. Okay, wait, how does someone die and you're watching, you don't know? And she's like, no, sorry, like, we don't even have a record that that's ever been a patient here. And so, like, at this point, I was pissed. So I wrote back to her, I'm like, no, listen, like, you're lying, like, this is ridiculous that you spent this much time, like, you're probably Landon or whoever Landon is, you're the same person. She lost her shit on me. And she was like, you know what, you're the reason that he died. You let him on for all these years, but you gave him all these false hopes and false realities, and you're the real reason why he let go and he let himself die. My brother, you killed my brother, you're a murderer. Anyways, so that is kind of how the story ends. Like, you know, I'm a apparent murderer, I murdered him because I don't know who him is, but whatever. So like, looking back, I obviously realize how crazy this story is, and I'm like mind blown by how much time I invested into this person. And I mean, you know what, maybe I'll go back today and like reread all the emails and realize like how crazy I really was, or he really was, how crazy we both were. But you know, you know how it is when you're young and you're gullible and, you know, you want to believe the best in everybody, and you're so innocent to the craziness of the world. And, you know, just my mental state at that time, I really wanted to believe that, you know, he was the person I was going to be with, and he found me, and we were put together because we were so whatever. Okay, so that is my story of how I got catfished. You know, and I'm sure at least one of you is wondering, you know, did you contact Neve and Max? And no, I didn't, because like I said, I felt like I was an advanced enough catfisher, predator, catfisher, finder person. I've watched the show enough that, you know, I tried the IP address and the reverse searches and, you know, the email search and whatever, and I found nothing. The one time I did locate the IP address, and it was in Georgia, so I don't know if that guy did that right or whatever, but you know. So that is my story. To this day, I still do not know who it was who pretended to be this person. I don't know if they actually knew me. I'm getting chills actually a little bit, because now that I think about it, if it's not somebody I actually knew, like whether I went to school with them or I worked with them or they were a friend of a friend, whatever, they know all these details about me, and you know where I live and my address and my phone number, and that's a little bit creepy. Like, I'm kind of getting chills. But anyways, I don't know who the person is. I don't know why they picked me or how they found me or why they invested so much time into whatever was going on between us. But you know, sometimes I still do think about it, and I do wish like I knew who they were and their reasoning and why they would lie about all that stuff, because don't get me wrong, like I just don't believe it. That person was lying. Like, they were lying through their damn teeth. But yeah, that's my story, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to know more crazy story time videos, then definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post 2 videos a week now, and make sure you like this video so, you know, more people, maybe we can like band together and create like a I was catfish group or something like that. So make sure you like this video so other people can find it too, and we can become a little catfish community. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. That relationship ended because he ended up sleeping with one of my really good friends at the time.